Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? It is your boy Noah Jones, and welcome to Today in HipHop. This is episode 7, and it is no motherfucking doubt, sponsored by NoahJonesNews.com. How to the hottest artists with the hottest motherfucking, I don't think y'all heard. The hottest artists with the hottest videos and the most fire content. Make sure you stop by NoahJonesNews.com. Add your name to the mailing list, which is free. I'm so excited, I'm tongue-tied already. The mailing list, which is free, and you get a free album. My hottest shit, Heart of the Lion, Blood of a King. The hottest shit out. Nominated for 2018 Album of the Year. Make sure you check it out. Okay, today's show, we're gonna talk about Benny the Butcher, Westside Gunn, Conway the Machine. We got some Wale news. Slim Jesus is back. You guys remember Slim Jesus? And we also got some De La Soul news as well. Now, what I would like to do is, I would like to start off with one of the most legendary groups in hip hop. I think we're gonna start today's show off with De La Soul. You know what I mean? De La Soul, if you guys don't know, they are legends in the rap game. My favorite album from them, well, one of my favorite albums is De La Soul is Dead. They had a song called Ring, Ring, Ring. Hey, how you doing? Sorry you can't get through. Fire album. They have crazy hits. And they're going through some issues with Tommy Boy, their old record label. Basically what's going on is Tommy Boy does not want to release their masters. You know what I mean? They don't want to release their masters. And because that contract for these records was signed before streaming came into play, they're not getting any royalties from the streams that you guys are streaming on Spotify, Apple Music, etc., etc. So basically, De La Soul is getting shitted on. They get raped right now by Tommy Boy Records. So here's what De La Soul has to say. They posted on their Instagram a picture with a caption, "There is life after Tommy Boy. Trust me." It says, "Well, friends, after 30 years of profiting from our music and hard work, and after 7 long months of stalled negotiations, we are sad to say that we've been unable to reach an agreement and earn Tommy Boy's respect for our music/legacy. With some helpful consulting and long careful consideration, we've decided we will not do our 30 plus years the disservice of settling on Tom Silverman's terms. Tommy Boy says they are not in the business of giving artists back their masters. We realize there is a process in reclaiming ownership, but we do not trust Tommy Boy in this process after so many years of disappointment. Therefore, our catalog will not see the light of day by way of our involvement or consent. This means if you see De La Soul albums/music available for streaming or purchase anywhere, be aware all parties involved will profit, but De La Soul will not benefit or earn deserved fairly. We really tried. More details to come. Nevertheless, our fans have and will keep our legacy alive. We appreciate and ask for your continued support onto new things, new music, and more amazing, respectful business relationships. Hashtag don't press play. Hashtag respect our legacy. Hashtag respect the culture. Hashtag Tommy boycott continues. Hashtag 480. Industry rule number 4080. Record company people are shady. To quote Q-Tip. Okay. So here's my take on the whole situation. First and foremost, I love De La Soul to death. I grew up listening to their music. 3 Feet High and Rising was crazy. Potholes in my lawn, etc., etc. Say no and go. But here's the facts. Cold hard facts. Record labels don't give a fuck about artists. They're in it to make money. So if you think that they're gonna give up ownership of their masters, or ownership of your masters actually, the music that you've recorded, You're not going to be happy because they're not going to do it. It's rare and it's few and far between in the entire music industry of artists that own their own masters and own their own catalog. These record labels are eating off these artists' catalogs, and they are using that money to put their kids and their kids' kids through college and creating endeavors for their children and their legacy. Back in the day, artists did not get, and they still to this day get fucked, but they did not get good contracts, especially the rappers. This is one of the reasons why they target less fortunate people. They target the young artists that don't have access to money, inner city youth, inner city ghetto children, because they can throw them a couple $1,000s and they'll feel like they balling and put a record out, but then when the record does well and they realize they're not getting any money, they've been taken advantage of. So, De La Soul, I love you to death, but Tommy Boy Records is not trying to give you, I mean, they'll put on a show, they'll put on a charade, but they are not trying to give you your masters back. They're going to continue to use that catalog to make money. So, what I suggest, instead of continuing posting these things, etc., you know, real artists love the music. I mean, real fans love the music. We're fans of your music, first and foremost. We're fans of your music. Secondly, what I would suggest is be busy. Create more content. You know, create more music. Create a documentary on what's going on. See, here's the thing. Yes, you guys have a great legacy. Yes, you guys have been in the game for a long time, but the game has changed. It doesn't cost $100,000 to put some of this stuff out anymore. You know, you can pretty much buy a studio in a box and have high quality recordings, you know, for less than $5,000 worth of investment, maybe $10,000. You know, I'm pretty sure you guys have access to a studio, but if you don't, build your own studio, put out your music, capitalize off of all the streaming stuff, make a documentary, you know, carry a camera everywhere you go. Cameras are cheap. You can go on Amazon and get you a $500 Canon camera, and the guys that know how to utilize these cameras, these video editors, they're great at what they do. They can turn a documentary over and make it look fire, and it won't cost you a lot of money. This will also spread the word on the struggles and the drama that you're going through with Tommy Boy. See, we're in a very visual age right now. People want to see everything. You know, just like when you're driving on the freeway and there's an accident, people are slowly going by because they want to see. Hearing about the accident is one thing. These people want to see. They want to see what's going on. You know what I mean? So that being said, spend more time and focus on putting out more music. You guys are talented. You guys have dropped some legendary products. You know what I mean? You still can eat and tour off of new music. You still probably can tour off of your old music as well. Make sure you get out there and do what you gotta do, because these record labels don't give a fuck about you. You know what I mean? We're just now in the age where an artist can come to a record label with some sort of leverage and get what he wants. Master P was one of the first people that was able to break that door down, so shout out to Master P. He was one of the first people, artist, record label, etc., business executive, that was able to break the door down and say, look, you know, I want an 80-20 split, 80 for me, 20 for you. And the record labels took it because they realized he was getting so much money that they had to get in on it anyway. They said, yo, if we don't get in on it, we're going to let this opportunity go by, and this guy's going to make all this money on his own. See, record labels are opportunists. They capitalists. They will utilize you to get rich. So now that you're independent, you have the opportunity to make these moves on your own. Fuck Tommy Boy. Fuck the record labels. Do your own thing. You know, I mean, you guys have met some of the most incredible people and have spent time with some of the most incredible people that a lot of artists, especially people like me, look up to. Get out there and do some documentaries. Get out there and do some more radio interviews. Get out there and create your own podcast. You can do it from home. There's a lot of people that will be interested in hearing your story, and you can make money off of it. You can make streaming money. So, don't dwell on the past. It's obvious they're not really going to budge. So just look, you know, I'm not saying chalk it up as a loss. Keep trying if you want to, but you guys still have many years ahead of you, and you're still making great quality music, and it's very inexpensive to get the job done nowadays. So there's other ways that you guys can contribute to the culture and still continue the legacy that you've created and still earn the respect that you already have. So that right there is the details and how I feel about the De La Soul situation. Now, let's move on to Benny the Butcher and Westside Gunn. Benny the Butcher and Westside Gunn signed a management deal with Rock Nation. Congrats to these gentlemen right here. I haven't heard any of their music, but from what I understand, they are buzzing. They are dictating the East Coast culture. I'm good to know that me being from New York, that New York is back on the map, that people are paying attention to New York music once again. So shout out to Benny the Butcher and Westside Gunn. They signed a management deal with Rock Nation. As far as Rock Nation, this is my take. You know, Jay-Z seems like he's putting his hands in a lot of shit. It seems like whenever something is popping, he's the first one there to scoop people up, and because he's Jay-Z, everybody are going along with it. He's helping Meek Mill. He just signed Westside Gunn and Benny the Butcher. He's doing a lot of things with a lot of rappers and a lot of people. Now, I'm afraid that he's stretching himself too thin. You know, all of these artists, they're popping before signing the Rock Nation management. So my thing is, if you have so many artists on your roster, how in the hell can you dedicate enough time to each artist to make each artist and group and act successful? You're spreading yourself too thin. I would be worried about that. Yes, they have a big name. Okay, great. You know, they have an amazing name. Rock Nation. Everybody knows who it is. But sometimes it's better to go to a smaller company who can allocate their time and resources solely to you rather than spreading everything out. You know, you click on, if you go to rocknation.com right now, or in your spare time, you will see that they have 104 artists that they're doing services for. 104 artists. A lot of these artists you probably never heard of. You know, you have Basement, Andrea Martin, the famous DJ Angie Martinez, Boots, Belly. I mean, it's all in alphabetical order. Big Sean, Casanova 2 times, you know, Cypher Sounds, DJ Cypher Sounds. You know, you scroll down this list. Damian Marley Jr. I mean, it's crazy. They have 104 artists that they are doing services for. So there's no way that you can tell me that all of these artists are getting the proper representation that they deserve and the proper time that they deserve. You know, a lot of these artists are probably sitting around waiting because their careers ain't really moving because they waiting on the management to get involved. Like, how big does your management team have to be in order to cater to 104 different artists? Not including Benny the Butcher and Conway. It's 104 before them. So we're looking at maybe 106 if they're signed separately, or if they're signed together, they would count as 105. That's ridiculous. So yes, it's great for the clout. It's great for the blogs. It's great for people to pay attention to who they are and to draw inspiration to their shit. But at the end of the day, does Rock Nation have the resources? Because you know they're not spending all of Jay-Z's money for this shit. They're not tapping into his billions or billion or whatever he has to get this job done. Also, you got Conway the Machine. He signed to Shady Records, so his debut is going to come out on Shady. He must not know that Shady Records is a graveyard. There has never been one artist that came out on Shady Records that did well besides 50 Cent. That's one of the main things Joe Budden was talking about. Budden was talking about the fact that Eminem didn't really have as much involvement. And that's because Eminem stays in the fucking house all the time. He's a hermit. He doesn't do shit. You never see him outside. You never randomly see him out with people. He stays in the house all day, every day. He's never seen. He's not active. He'll drop his music when people want to hear from him, and then he disappears again. He'll drop an album, and a week later, nobody talks about him. He's in and out. So for Conway to sign to Shady Records when he was already buzzing, I don't think that was a good look. You know what I mean? Yellow Wolf, graveyard. Slaughterhouse broke up. As dope as they were, they didn't see nowhere near the success that they should have seen. Graveyard. Who else is over there on Shady? You know what I mean? You have quite a few artists that came and went, that got dropped from the label, that aren't putting out music. I mean, Royce the 5'9" is huge. How come he's not being pushed by the Shady machine, by Eminem's money? You know, signing to Shady Records is not a good idea. Yeah, okay, cool, people will talk about you. But by the same token, you're signing to a graveyard. You're signing to a company, to a man who has no idea how to market and promote his artists. As big as Eminem is, he can launch any of these artists into success, because all he got to do is go out on tour, bring them all with him, shoot videos with them, do interviews with them. Eminem don't do a lot of interviews. He's like Mr. Mystery. And a lot of his fans, I used to be one of them back in the day, we all grew up and we all have adult lives now. So his music is not impacting the culture. We're not listening to his shit. We're not listening to his shit in the hood. We're not listening to his shit when we have a bad day at work. We're not looking to his music for inspiration when we, are being, ridiculed by our baby moms and all this other shit, and being taken to court for child support and all that other shit. His music isn't the theme music or the soundtrack to the streets. It's Unicorn in a uniform. It's a lot of made up shit and a lot of rapidy rap. The nigga can rap his ass off, but he never says any fucking thing. He has no substance, in my opinion. And like I said, these are just my opinions. I think he got hella bars. I think the nigga could flow his ass off. I think he's great with the syllables. I just can't fuck with him. This shit is very annoying to me because, it sounds like he's trying to out-rap every single person instead of making a good song. Every song he features on, he tries to out-rap the artist instead of just blending with the artist and creating a dope-ass song. We know you can rap. We know Eminem can rap. You don't have to prove this shit on every record. You already got everybody's respect from that. Focus on making good quality music that's gonna last, and focus on pushing your artists. So Conway, salute to you, brother. You have a lot of respect. You have a lot of respect from me. And, I just wish you would have either just stayed independent and kept doing your thing, or not even merging your brand with Shady, because, like I said, you can learn a lot from a record label's history. And these guys aren't really successful. So that's how I feel about that. Now, we're going to move on to Slim Jesus. Okay? Seems like Slim Jesus is a little salty about a rapper by the name of Young Tekka. I'm gonna play something for you, and it's gonna come straight from the words of Slim Jesus himself. All right, let's hear what Slim Jesus has to say.
All right, y'all. Look, y'all keep tagging me in some shit, so I'm gonna speak on this shit. Motherfucking. First of all, I wanna make it clear though, I ain't hating on nobody else motherfucking success. That ain't how the fuck I rock. But I guess this little Tekka kid went in the motherfucking interview, right? And he said, I ain't got no blocks, I don't want no smoke, my lyrics is motherfucking lyrics. And I ain't got no motherfucking problem with that shit, honestly, because I know 95% of the game, that's what the fuck they doing anyway, bro. Motherfuckers is rapping and saying whatever the fuck is gonna sell. Who gives a fuck? As long as the music good, you gonna listen to it. So, I ain't wishing the kid nothing but success. Here's my issue. When I came out, my first interview, I said, look, I ain't out here trying to kill nobody, I'm here to make motherfucking music. Y'all motherfuckers trying to crucify my ass. So my issue lies with y'all dumb motherfuckers, bro, that swear y'all hate my ass so much, bro. But I don't think y'all really know why the fuck you don't like me in the first place, bro. Dead ass. This shit don't make no fucking sense to me. So if y'all can explain this shit, go right the fuck ahead.
All right. That's from the words of Slim Jesus himself. He wants to know why people hate on this kid and why, let me tell you why, Slim. You can't enter into the rap culture and blatantly be lying and faking. See, when it comes to hip-hop, it was based on the foundation of keeping it real. You rapping your own stories. You talking about your life. You talking about the hardships in the place that you grew up in and the struggles that you go through. See, the thing about it is he came in, flashing guns all in the video. Dude weighed about 85 pounds, soaking wet. You know, he's in a video flashing guns. Come to find out they're fake guns. You know what I mean? His whole aura was fake from the jump. Whole aura, everything about this guy was fake from the jump. So the problem is, when you're in a culture of keeping it real, niggas gonna call you out on that shit. You know what I mean? And the problem is, yes, you're right. There are a lot of rappers out here that fake it till they make it. But you just didn't hide the fact that you were faking it. You came right out the gate faking the shit and admitted that you was faking it and killed off your own career. Now, if you're gonna utilize shit like that, if you're gonna have guns in your video, etc., and you're gonna try to portray that lifestyle, at least have some authenticity when it comes to the firepower. Now, I'm not advocating for the shit because I think a lot of that shit is stupid anyway, and I believe that if you play a stupid game, say it with me, ladies and gentlemen, you win a stupid prize. So you don't want to invite that kind of energy to yourself in the first fucking place. Flashing guns all in your video and all that shit, and then when people check you and they test you on it, the shit can go south real quick. So that being said, I'm not advocating for that type of shit. But you came in faking from the jump. And you didn't fake it in a believable way. You niggas called you out on your fake shit and you just folded under pressure. That's why niggas don't fuck with you. There's plenty of white rappers out there that people fuck with. You know what I'm saying? Especially the ones that have skills. And you out here, you know, chasing the drill scene when that's not your scene to begin with. And you in the video flashing fake ass guns and all that other shit trying to portray that lifestyle. And then, you know, when niggas call you out on the shit, you like, oh, that ain't my lifestyle. I think somebody pressed you at a concert. I think that's what happened. I think you was overseas or in Canada or somewhere and somebody ran up on stage and pressed you for the shit. And then all of a sudden you had to come out and admit that you don't be doing all that shit and that's not your lifestyle or whatever the case may be. So, know the causes of your actions, bro. If you're gonna get into the game and you're gonna come with that type of shit, niggas is gonna test you. You're not gonna be able to rap in your mom's basement spitting that gangster street shit for the rest of your life. Eventually, you're gonna have to come out into the public. And when you come out into the public, the real niggas gonna see you. And the real niggas gonna test you. That's part of the game. When you put yourself out there like you're the toughest nigga out there, some other tough niggas gonna wanna test you. So if you don't want that type of environment and if you don't want that type of energy, don't make that kind of music. You know what I mean? Nobody's saying that you can't rap. Nobody's saying that you can't be creative and do whatever. But if you going into that lifestyle and you rapping about that shit, niggas is gonna check you on it. So hopefully you learn your lesson. And you know, maybe you can reform your image, reform what you got going on, work on your bars, put out some quality shit. And the people that are still curious about you, maybe you can have the second biggest comeback like how Soulja Boy said he did. You know what I'm saying? Word. So, last but not least, we're going to talk about Wale. And Wale believes that record deals should come with mental health insurance. Can you believe that? Huh. I wonder what everybody thinks about that. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let Wale tell you how he feels about it. This is Wale.
Successful people, you know, you gotta remind yourself who you are, especially with like celebrities, you know, because people Monday could be to everybody. You're going to bed looking at your comments and everybody's telling you you're the greatest, and by Friday everybody's telling you you fell off, you're the worst. You know what I mean? And it's difficult. I think that record deal should come with like mental health insurance, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think it should be part of it though. But that's a whole nother thing that I want to present at some point. But I think it's the road to success is not like there's no map. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and you can spiral at any time. So it's hard to keep yourself in check because there's a lot of enablers. And the thing that's even worse than enablers now is people that are so determined to not be an enabler that all they do is think they're giving you tough love when it's like they kicking you when they down. Like,
that was Wale. Shout out to Wale. Now, Wale is one of the most bitter, salty, corny niggas in the rap game. Wale has, he has had so many opportunities to shine, and it seems like all he does is deflect shit and be corny. Now, mental health is definitely a problem. It's a serious issue. It's not just in hip-hop. It's all over the world. It's in every facet of life. It's in every work field. So this is not a dig against mental health. This is a dig against Wale, who spends more time complaining than he does catering to his fans. See, what happens is we're in a fickle industry. If you're not consistent and you don't keep putting out quality, people are going to leave you and go to somebody else who's putting out quality. Now, we can like 4 or 5 different artists, 10 artists, 12 artists. Doesn't matter how many artists you like. You can like as many artists as you want. But the thing about it is, Wale, he was in the same league with J. Cole, Drake, Meek Mill, signed to Rick Ross. He's been given all the alley-oops a player can be given in order to be successful. But he got the corny label because all he does is fucking complain. You see what I'm saying? Let me give you an example. When 50 Cent was ruining niggas' careers, right? He tried to ruin Rick Ross's shit. What did Rick Ross do? He didn't worry about what 50 Cent was saying. He got back in the studio and kept creating quality music. Quality music. He stayed busy. He stayed consistent. He put out bangers. He put out fire albums. And what happened to 50 Cent? 50 Cent spends more time on Instagram and worrying about power. Shout out to 50. He's still one of my favorites, but I'm letting you know how it is. He spends more time on Instagram and talking shit about people than he does creating music. So as a result, Rick Ross is more relevant to this day, musically, than 50 Cent is. Rick Ross just did another fire joint with Drake. It's called like Gold Labels or something like that. Shit is fire. He was also on Money to the Grave with Drake. So you see, Rick Ross is still relevant. He's still making his bread. He's still putting out fire. And that's what these artists don't understand. If you want to combat the haters and the bullshit, you gotta stay busy. You can't sit around and let the game get to you and start complaining. See, you yourself feel unsuccessful. You don't wallow in the success that you've already have. There's a lot of artists that would love to even have a name like Wale. I'm not big as Wale. People don't know my name like they know Wale's name. But I wouldn't get to the point to where I would let that shit bother me and distract me. When you let other people distract you from your goal and tear you down with the words and the trolling and the shit they say online, that's because you are a weak individual. You have to know yourself, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know yourself, you're gonna always have problems. The number one thing is you cannot please everyone. You will lose yourself trying to please everyone. So you have to please yourself. You have to make sure you're comfortable with what you're doing. And the people that respect you and the smart, intelligent people that see what you're doing will gravitate to you. See, these guys these guys have gone on major tours. They've released big records. They've been all over the radio. They just don't know how to sustain their popularity. And that's the problem. There's a new era. There's a new age. You have to know how to sustain your popularity if you want to continue to keep eating. You have to do what these cell phone companies and stuff are doing and refresh your brand. Every year you got a new iPhone that has a new refresh. There's something different about it. It's the same, but it's different. It's got similar features, but it's got something new to draw you in. You gotta refresh your brand, ladies and gentlemen. These artists do not know how to sustain. And there's so many ways you can. You can get online and do features for people. You can get online and basically do contests. Have a Wale contest where Wale shows up to your house and y'all do a song together or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Creative ideas are long gone in hip hop. See, I'm a thinker. I think about shit like that. The people that know me know that I come up with creative solutions and creative ideas for every situation. So, that being said, he does not know how to sustain his popularity. So because he doesn't know how to sustain it, he gets an attitude. And then he loses his focus. And then he shifts the blame on everybody else. The first thing a major artist should do, not even a major artist, an artist that's coming up, is get his own recording studio. So that way you can release music when you want. They even have recording solutions that are portable nowadays. But these artists don't even do the research, and they have no fucking clue on what they can purchase. These niggas that be out on tour, you can bring you a traveling microphone, a laptop. They have these things called the, It's called the Arrow. It's the Universal Audio Arrow, where you can record on the road. You can do a lot of stuff as you're traveling. Mobile recording studio. So you don't have to be stuck in a facility, and you can create. Then there's things online where you can learn how to master your music online. There's plenty of solutions out there. So stop sitting around and blaming everybody else and take some accountability for the fact that nobody's fucking with you right now. If nobody's fucking with you, it's because you're not being active enough. You're not intriguing enough. You're not inspiring enough. You're not busy enough. You're not creating enough. You're not being seen enough. So get to work. This is your boy Noah Jones, and that was Today in Hip Hop episode 7. I love y'all. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. Add your name to my mailing list on NoahJonesNews.com. Pick up some merchandise. And please, donate to this podcast. You want regular episodes? Donate to the podcast. I try to do my best and bring you the news as it comes out. I'm trying not to flood y'all and really upload content that doesn't mean anything. I like my shit to have substance. So, support the podcast. Tell a friend. Share it. You can send the shit via text message. I'm on all the major stations right now. All the major streaming digital service providers, DSPs. I love y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Shout out to everybody involved. Peace.